Day 3. Day 3 of this MLP Mega Marathon has officially ended. And today we're taking a look at the last remaining episodes of Season 2 while jumping into Season 3. This time around, I'm going to be talking about the Season 2 episode's ratings, then go into Season 3 and its ratings. Try to make the thing run a little bit faster, because the previous video was under 30 minutes, and yeah, I'm not really that fast of a talker, especially with this whole marathon of episodes I haven't seen either in years or year. 2:15, the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 is when the marathon began, as Rainbow Dash is basically getting upset over how the Apple family doesn't make enough cider for them, so these two con ponies, Flim and Flam, while wowing the audience with a Music Man style song. Yeah, it's a Music Man style song, look it up! I don't remember which particular song, just look it up! Anyways, basically, the Apples decide to challenge the Flim Flam brothers to a contest, which ultimately, even though Flim and Flam technically won, they had some bad cider along the way, which causes the ponies to rebel and causing the Apple family to keep their farm. Again, what's memorable in the episode is, of course, the song that Flim and Flam sing in the very beginning of the episode, well, also that one line at the near end of the episode, while Applejack's writing her letter to Princess Celestia. I won't give away what it is, but let's just say it's college in a nutshell. Next episode, Read It and Weep, which is where Rainbow Dash winds up in the hospital and broke her ring, and from that point, she is suggested by Twilight to read a book, and of course, she's saying that Rainbow Dash says that reading is just for eggheads. You know, smart people. But of course, when she starts reading it, she decides to keep the whole reading thing a secret. It's a really good, it's a great episode for those that, sort of those who were not interested in books when we were young, and then later on we liked them. It was sort of the same with me. Middle school I didn't like gigantic chapter books, because I thought I was gonna die. Thought I was gonna die when I read them. But it turns out it's a real fun activity. I'm even on the last 7 chapters of The Disaster Artist right now. Really great book. Next, Hearts and Hooves Day, a Valentine's-themed episode where the Cutie Mark Crusaders create a love potion to make Miss Shirley and Big Mac fall in love. But it turns out, it's a love poison. Has some strong membership, has a really good song in it, and overall really fun, interesting pacing and stuff. A Friend Indeed, everyone should remember this episode. The song, the Smile song, Pinky sings at the very beginning of the episode. Everyone particularly remembers this episode because of that moment. Because you can't deny it. You have to see this at either a sing-along panel at one of these pony conventions, or inside My Little Karaoke. Well, yeah, My Little Karaoke. Next one is the episode where Fluttershy is trying to be assertive of herself in the episode Putting Your Hoof Down, the 19th episode. And Putting Your Hoof Down, I must say, came as a really great joke I used in my movie review of Reanimated. I don't know whether to upload it to YouTube or not, but actually it's too much in copyright to even upload. But overall, I think it's a really good episode about being assertive of yourself. And actually, if I remember right, this was one of the earlier lessons I wound up showing to my decision management teacher when I had my Elements of Harmony book in my bag, and I was sort of talking to the class about the lessons from the show. Trust me, it's a long story, I do say so myself. Episode 220, It's About Time, where Twilight sees her future self, starts thinking that the apocalypse is about to happen, and starts bunkering down. It's got its share of some great moments and some odd moments in the episode, but overall really fun. Plus it was the inspiration for the song Forever Free Brony did called Future What Are the Odds, which really it's a great song. Episode 21, Dragon Quest. An episode where Spike decides to go on this journey during the dragon migration and meets up in one of the areas with these teenager dragons, one of them voiced by Matt Hill. If you ever looked at my portfolio for voice acting, you know the first role I had was the Purple Teenage Dragon inside Toucan ODM's Iron Man Meets MLP, where I do sort of this very somewhat poor impression of the dragon. But overall, I have been improving upon the voice, which is one of the lessons I learned after a while of being in voice acting. If characters don't have voices, you gotta give them voices. If you're trying to do an impersonation, at least practice the voice. Make sure you nail the impression correctly. Don't nail it like you have a nail on a board or paint drying, because it'd be stupid. Hurricane Fluttershy, another Fluttershy episode that has the same rating as Putting Your Hoof Down. And that's with Fluttershy trying to overcome her fear of being in front of a crowd, trying to pull the water up to Cloudsdale to make rain clouds. I think it's a good episode that, another one that I try to talk to my decision management teacher about teaching, about how little you have can actually make a big difference. Good lesson. Ponyville Confidential. The Cutie Mark Crusaders wind up creating a news column under the chief editor of the entire Full Free Press, Diamond Tiara. I swear. It seems like the earlier episodes, I just minded her as just like this side character, this comedic foil, or evil foil for the Cutie Mark Crusaders, who winds up getting the bad end of the stick at the end of every episode. I do think that way at times. I just really wish that DHX would just develop her character more. Or even better, Silver Spoon. A lot of the fan arts you see of Silver Spoon literally wanting to stand up and not be a bully. I mean, I don't know. Media DHX, make it happen. Mystery on the Friendship Express. There are 2 capital M's in this, but I don't want to say it. Pinkie Pie's taking her marzipan, 4M Madness cake, her 4M cake to the Canterlot to be judged, while a bunch of other contestants come in with their other creations. One a chocolate mousse, literally molded into a mousse, Donut City, topped with sprinkles, and then finally a what should I do? What was it? I forget. Let's see. It was a Donut City. I forget the other one. Surprised how the short memory works. Anyways, they're trying to investigate who ate what. And of course, Pinkie's acting like a poor version of Sherlock Holmes, while Twilight is acting like is trying to get the mystery solved, because obviously Pinkie's making too many accusations. Then a Camelot Wedding, Part 1. Twilight finds out about the finds out about that her brother, which we never see in the last season, that Twilight's brother is getting married to Cadence. her little Twilight's little babysitter. Well, actually, I wouldn't say little. At least when Twilight was little, she had a babysitter. Getting off topic. She starts noticing a couple of traits inside in the newer Cadence that obviously she isn't acting like her kind, usual self. She tries to frame her while they were doing their practice wedding, but obviously in the end, she feels left. Twilight basically gets left out of the wedding, and then suddenly the fake Cadence, who we find out later in the next episode is a spy, and burns her into the ground, which leads into the next episode, part 2, where Twilight is trying to stop some evil plot going on. The plot is that the staff here, that this other Cadence that burned Twilight into the ground is in fact a spy. The one who was threatening to take over Camelot and take their love, which introduces us into one of the next favorite villains, Queen Chrysalis. And I must say, I love Queen Chrysalis. I love her designs. I love her changelings. If you've seen my voice acting portfolio, you know I voice changelings. I come up with original voices for them. Well, somewhat original voices. But this one is absolutely one of my favorite finales and one of my favorite finales in all the series. I mean, sure, there's another one, but I'll discuss that when I get to that. Overall, Season 2 has a pretty positive rating. Overall, the rest of Season 2 had a lot of positive ratings, nothing that slipped into 4 or anything. The Super Speedy Side of Squeezy 6000, 9 out of 10. We Didn't Weep, 8 out of 10. Hearts on Hooves Day, 9 out of 10. A Friend Indeed, 10 out of 10. Putting Your Hoof Down, 8 out of 10. It's About Time, 9 out of 10. Dragon Quest, 7 out of 10. Hurricane Fluttershy, 8 out of 10. Ponyville Confidential, 9 out of 10. Mystery on the Friendship Express, 9 out of 10. And A Camelot Wedding Part 1 and 2, 10 out of 10. Plus, the second part reminded me a lot about The Matrix Reloaded. Especially the fight with Neo. I mean, seriously, if you haven't seen the Matrix movies, go check it out. Bring the kiddies, they're real good. Next, we jump into Season 3, as we start off with the Crystal Empire. Now, I probably may not have told you this, but when I first saw the Crystal Empire, I was very least from amused. It wasn't like one of the best premieres I've ever seen. But why is that? We'll find out. So Twilight is basically, the Crystal Empire reappears in northern Equestria after a 1,000-year vanishment, when Celestia tells Twilight that she's got to help Cadence and Shining Armor to protect the kingdom from this threat known as King Sombra. When I heard the name Sombra and took a look at his designs, he looked pretty cool. He had this really menacing look to him. He could turn into a shadow. He can turn into a unicorn that wears like this red robe. And in the next part, he's a big disappointment. Crystal Empire, 5 out of 10, which is the only time that I've ever rated something like that, so. In part 2, where we last left off after Cadence basically had shorted out her powers and Sombra tried to get into the Empire with his menacing CGI look, Twilight and Spike go around as they try to find the Crystal Heart, which of course leads to the disappointment of Sombra. Like I said, he looked really cool. He's real menacing, he had a great design, and overall he looked like a really awesome villain. But the way they portrayed him, they didn't give enough backstory, and when the series premiered, if you were even around that time, is the overly satired meme that obviously got tired in a day, known as Gak. Gak. The commercials where they winded up repeating the same commercials over and over and over again. And even in one of the lyrics in a parody of the remix of the Tombstone remix of Discord is, in fact, mentions it. Let's see if I can remember the song. Why did they use you? I haven't got a clue. But even Gak got more screen time than you. Yeah, so Sombra, as I made my joke in Equestria goes, which normally I would show you the link to it tomorrow, but I decided to post it here anyways, is that I called King Sombra in my review, King I only have 5 lines and got defeated by a wife thrown off a balcony and a small dragon Sombra. Because that's all he is. He only speaks 5 lines and got defeated by a wife, literally thrown off of a balcony. And then a small dragon. If I do say so myself. Of course I did have this joke I wanted to adapt into a video, but never really got the chance to. Maybe sometime later I might get that joke around and post it up on YouTube if no one else had posted it. But overall, yeah, it's not one of the best. Crystal Empire Part 2, even though that Sombra was a joke, and they wasted so much time looking at that door of fear, and Pinky wanting a flugelhorn, that I love the ending song, though I wish they would have done more to it. So, 6 out of 10. Not bad for a premiere, just not that good. Too many Pinkie Pies. This is where Pinky tries to clone herself so that she could be at many places at once, but the cloning goes too far as Twilight decides to hold a contest to see who's the real Pinky by watching paint dry. One Bad Apple is the introduction of Apple Bloom's cousin, Babseed, which of course leads into a really good song that, from what I could tell, everyone was talking about that day the episode premiered. Like, literally, everyone was just remixing it, everything, covering it. But it's an insane, so it's a interesting episode. Magic Duel, this is where things start to get really good. In this one, Trixie comes back with revenge as she has the Alicorn amulet. Sorry. As she gets the Alicorn amulet and basically throws Twilight out of her own town, and of course it's up to the rest of her friends to figure out how to get revenge on her. And of course, it's the introduction of the Will Screen drinking game for MLP. Because if you listen closely, especially when a cart's being thrown at a lady, you'll hear the Will Scream. Which of course leads into the famous, and my trademark, Will Scream drinking game. Take a shot for each time you hear the Will Scream. But unfortunately, I can't have alcohol. And besides that, it's hot. Sleepless in Pony. Overall, Magic Duel's a good episode. Sleepless in Ponyville is an episode that takes itself really perfectly. Not. Did I say Sleepless in Ponyville? Yeah. Sleepless in Ponyville is where the Kingdom Crusaders decide to go camping, and Scootaloo is constantly having nightmares over Rainbow Dash's scariest tales that she tells at the campfires, and of course this causes Scootaloo to have nightmares, and she's trying to overcome her fears. I remember for a fact that Paleo said that it was a good episode, but the lesson was a little bit botched. I don't remember, because it's been a long time since I've seen Paleo's reviews, and the fact that those videos are gone now. Anyways, Wonderbolt Academy. Suddenly, Rainbow Dash's dream is coming true as she is invited to go to one of their training grounds to see if they can become a Wonderbolt. She meets another pony there who is just crazy insane. Gosh darn it, this heat's really questioning me. Anyways, Rainbow Dash gets an invitation to attend the Wonderbolt Academy and meets another Pegasus she teams up with called Lightning Dust, who Lightning Dust takes herself to the limit. And all that she's focused on is just her trying to become a Wonderbolt, no one else. All that good stuff. And overall, Rainbow Dash really does have a standout point in the episode, because basically Lightning Dust is kind of an evil person. Probably one of the good short one-episode antagonists. At least more better than Sombra. But Wonderbolt Academy, near 100% episode. Last then, the episode for today, Apple Family Reunion, where Applejack is hosting the reunion for all the Apple families from coast to coast. But of course, she goes beyond her limits and creates basically over-the-top activities and loses the sight of what's really important about family reunions. I mean, for me, I haven't had a family reunion in like years. And I do mean years. But it's a really great episode, and it's another one of those Wilhelm Scream episodes that you gotta take a shot to. Overall, today has been a really great day. And overall, there are some fun notes about about Season 2 episodes, and a little bit about Season 3 that I like. I mean, Camelot Wedding Part 2, whenever that comes on, especially around the 6-minute mark when it's on the Hub Network, I definitely tune to it and listen to this aria anytime that I accidentally flip to the Hub. So here's the ratings for Season 3, not counting the premieres, because I already said them. Too Many Pinkie Pies, 7 out of 10. One Bad Apple, 7 out of 10. Magic Duel, 9 out of 10. Sleepless in Ponyville, 8 out of 10. Wonderbolt Academy, 9 out of 10. And Apple Family Reunion, 9 out of 10. So all that's left is to take a look at the last 5 episodes of MLP of Season 3, and then to give you guys some plug for my The Course Ghost review, because I've already done a review of that, and I don't need to do it again. Season 4 I've already covered, as noted by these ARs here, which means already reviewed. But I'll come back for a vlog on Friday for... Twilight's Kingdom, and then later on I'll post my thoughts on the Generation 3.5, at least from what I'm being told, about the ones that are premiering. But, with that said, I'm the Ferb Guy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.